Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. I realize many individuals have a ton of comments about Dwight Howard as his character or anything individuals like to make an effort to do. Riv felt Josie dribble without a moment's delay. I prefer not to be the bearer of terrible news, but the Dwight Howard charges are genuine in the event that you don't realize Dwight Howard is being blamed for trying another man. Police reports were simply delivered, and it seems as though Dwyane Wade is on Dwight Howard's side in the midst of ongoing claims made by a man with Dwight subsequent to being blamed for driving his supposed Vic DP Stephen Harper into a trio with another man named Kitty. Dwight is currently likewise confronting reactions over re-emerged video cuts showing him contacting his NBA partner improperly. Dwight, anyway, as of late tended to these claims in an Instagram video and advised fans to mind their business and quit agonizing over what he does in his room. I don't gotta let no one know where I put my wood at anyway. Fans are blaming Dwight for gaslighting, on the grounds that the issue here isn't his sexuality. However, the serious claims about him attempting men and contacting his colleagues without assent yet. Dwight has obviously found one individual who will stand up for himself as well as it. As a matter of fact, Dwyane Wade, who, as you likely know, confronted comparable charges previously. So what precisely did Dwyane say regarding Dwight's SA claims? Is he truly shielding his conduct? We should separate it the number of names that could you at any point consider what Dwight Howard name isn't in that frame of mind about Dwight Howard being on the arrangement have been coursing for a really long time anyway. These tales as of late took a dim turn when a man by the name of Stephen Harper documented a claim against Dwight, blaming him for exposition and guaranteeing that Dwight attempted to drive him into a trio with a man dressed as a lady named Kitty, as per court records got by Radar Online. Dwight and Stephen connected up via web-based entertainment back in May 2020. They evidently began trading some coquettish messages, and Stephen claims Dwight told him he was into freaky stuff and requested that he send over some express photographs. Dwight then, at that point, welcomed Stephen over to his home on July 19, 2021, and Stephen submitted receipts close by his claim, including instant messages and an Uber bill, to demonstrate that he visited Dwight's home on that day. Stephen's claim expresses that he and Dwight began kissing in Dwight's room. However, at that point, to Stephen's shock, one more man walked around the room as per Stephen. This man was dressed as a lady and presented himself as Kitty. And Stephen has now likewise released a photograph of this individual as per Radar Online. Kitty will presumably play the principal observer in Stephen's claim against Dwight, and Stephen will attempt to demonstrate that Dwight saw him in Kitty's presence. Stephen charges in his claim that Dwight proposed they ought to have a trio with Kitty, yet Stephen denied it, and he guarantees Dwight never referenced in the text trade that he would bring over a third individual anyway. As per Stephen, Dwight then began getting pansy, which made him feel truly awkward. Stephen claims that he requested that Dwight stop. However, Dwight disregarded him and let him know he planned to do whatever, and Stephen planned to do like it, as indicated by Stephen's claim. Dwight stood up, overshadowing Stephen, got him by the thighs, effectively got rid of his clothing, held him down, and played out a non-consensual follow-up on him. The claim expresses that Stephen was frightened of substantial mischief when he was nailed down and compelled to stay set up, while guarding proceeded to him. Stephen further claims that Dwight likewise constrained him to play out a similar follow-up on him, and he's blaming Dwight for the attack battery's purposeful curse of profound trouble and bogus detainment. Dwight, anyway, submitted a reaction to Stephen's claim, and however, he affirmed that he connected with Stephen and Kitty. He denied constraining Stephen to do anything despite his desire to the contrary, and guaranteed that Stephen realized Kitty would show up at the house. Dwight is requesting that the whole claim be tossed out, and he gave an assertion guaranteeing that Stephen is after his cash, yet Stephen is keeping up with his account. He further tended to the claims on Instagram, demanding that Dwight trapped him and never referenced that he would attempt to affect a third individual in their experience. Dwight never showed me an image of Kitty or uncovered their orientation. Stephen said Kitty strolled in with full facial hair growth, 2-inch heels, and a 28-piece church hairpiece. Immediately, I was lost in awkwardness and communicated that I needed to leave in the meantime. A few industry figures have voiced their perspectives on this, and they're saying that Dwight obviously doesn't have the foggiest idea about what assent means. May said it's never consensual when you shock somebody. And he likewise brought up that the central concern here isn't Dwight being gay, or by yet supposedly constraining men into circumstances they didn't agree to. Like you hear details saying this since what individuals do in their room that is between them is not really evident. It's never a sense you assuming you shock someone anyway in his reaction. Dwight faulted fans for being meddlesome and bizarre, and he additionally made some TikToks making fun of the intense claims he's music confronting. Yet fans are currently saying there's nothing entertaining regarding this, and individuals need to zero in on Dwight possibly being a wrongdoer. One fan said Dwight Howard doesn't get it. We realize he lays down with men. Nobody cares about him being a hunter, and ARAC is the issue. And another additional is that the Dwight Howard story isn't shocking. Most likely, it makes sense of where his child got it from. Kids don't discover that way of behaving from flimsy air. By the way, this tweet is alluding to Dwight's child, Brylin, who was recently blamed for improperly contacting his mother's sweetheart's minor child, and was requested by an adjudicator to remain away from any children 2 years more youthful than him. Bryan was likewise underage when the supposed episode occurred, as indicated by court reports. Bryn let officials know that he lashed out at the more youthful kid, and that outrage triggers him into carrying on physically. And presently, on top of this, different video cuts re-emerged showing Dwight contacting his colleagues improperly. Also, fans are currently saying this sort of conduct was standardized, and that is likely why different players would have rather not uttered a word. One video that was shot when Dwight was playing for the Houston Rockets shows him snatching his partner Isaiah Canaan's groin region. Now that this and other comparable films were recorded, fans didn't treat it in a serious way, and it all came down to making stop jokes anyway, considering the say claim recorded against Dwight. A few fans are saying that how Dwight treated Isaiah was likewise say, and keeping in mind that Dwight's allies are shielding him and saying Dwight is a casualty of homophobic assaults. Others are guaranteeing that the issue isn't about Dwight's sexuality. Previous NFL player Ryan Clark guarded Dwight and tweeted, "I agree with Dwight Howard that what happens in his room is his business. But his business is now working out before the games. Individuals ought to get to cherish who they endlessly love the wonderful way they love anyway." Dwyane purportedly offered Dwight his help in private, and he accepts that the NBA fans are simply being homophobic toward Dwight anyway. Dwyane recently confronted comparative charges with Panther Right in any event, guaranteeing that she heard from various young fellows that they saw a few very upsetting scenes at the Dwyane and Gabrielle Association's local gatherings. I am saying that